Good morning and welcome to my hobby bench once again. It's the day after the Westbend swap meet and I just wanted to give you a quick update on how that went and then we'll get into the main portion of this video. So the swap meet went well. The back of my Honda Pilot was filled with stuff and I came back with just a few items I didn't sell. It was a box of a lot of miscellaneous like wheels and stuff like that. I took the KMB 40 engine. Nobody wanted that, which doesn't surprise me because I don't want it either. But I mean, for the most part, all of the stuff that I brought, I sold. The OS FS120E sold at my asking price. The Midwest Cherokee 40 kit sold at my asking price. The Top Flight P40 Warhawk and all of the accessories with that, I took a beating on, but Mark, you got a really good deal. So I did you a huge solid for that. All the other items, it was just a whole bunch of small items that were being sold, but the biggest things were, how often can you double or triple your money on investments? And I'm not saying that I did that on major investments, but there was the vendor or the person selling items right behind me had these big totes, drawer things filled with covering. So I happened to pick one that was just filled with about 30 rolls of Monocoat, and he was asking $10 for these things. And I'll show you a picture of what the size of this tote was like. So it had 30 rolls of Monocoat in it or so for $10. So of course I scooped that up. Now the colors were not all that great. I mean, it wasn't like colors you would really want. But there were some in there that were all right. And then right away I put that underneath my table and people were wanting to know, is this for sale? Is this for sale? I'm like, I don't need 30 rolls of Monocoat. So I ended up selling about 2/3 of that for about, I don't know, $60. I was selling individual ones for like $5 a roll, and then Mark came up and bought another 17 or so and for $50. So I mean, as far as making your money back on an investment, that was very profitable because, you know, $10 and I made like $60 on that. The other thing that same vendor or seller behind me had was a bag of glow plugs, and it was listed at $2, or not $2, $10. And here's what the contents of that bag look like. So it was 24 glow plugs for $10, which is a value of about probably $260 in today's money. So anyway, if you look at the table here real quick, I did bring this my Wankel engine with me. Not because I was really anticipating selling it, but more or less just to show people and then, you know, have people ask what I was asking for it. And if they wanted it, you know, I probably would have sold it. Several people, and this was one of those things I wasn't just putting out, I was holding it back, and just for certain people I was showing it to them. When people would ask what I was asking for it, they'd just kind of smile and, I don't think so. And I was like, that's fine with me. But, you know, after having this and holding it for a while, I think I may have changed my mind about keeping it. I may just hang on to it because in my estimation, this is one of those things, it's kind of like a chunk of gold. It's kind of like a big nugget of gold. Because for the price I got it, which I will divulge to you right now, I bought that whole eBay thing with all those other stupid parts for $76. So I've got this chunk of gold in my hand, and here's another one of those things where I could easily double my investment on this, if not triple it, if I really so desired, by just putting it on eBay and selling it immediately. So for now, I'm just going to hang on to this. Whether I run it or not, I don't know. I may just make a little stand for it and display it. So anyway, the primary purpose of today's video is a customer engine that came to me for me to service and the payment for that. And some of you may know, many of you new people may not know that in lieu of Federal Reserve notes or other forms of denomination for payment of my services, I often will accept engines as payment. And this is an example of this. So this is from a new friend and hopefully subscriber, Mitch. And the first thing you see here obviously is a Tower Hobbies 61RC ABC engine. And I'm not sure how much we're going to look at this. I might pull it out here real quick. This is the payment for what I'm going to do. This, that was the paperwork for that. These items in here is the engine to service. And I always think it's kind of fun when I get an engine like this. So this is, believe it or not, is a Saito 150 engine in pieces, and I don't know, I don't like that. I don't know that I recall off the top of my head all of the story with this, but I know Mitch told me that it's, I'm not sure how he got it or what, but he said it's in pieces, assess what pieces there are, and attempt to purchase the remaining things that are not available or that are not here. And right away I didn't like what I was seeing, because there was like, this was kind of poking out through there. You know, I'm gonna move this stuff off to the side here real quick and put this blue paper towel down here, make it a little bit easier to see what we've got. So we've got a lower case. This is really curious. We have a rear seal here on the outside. Looks like the ring is intact. It looks like a pretty low time engine. Right now, hopefully we're just missing this pushrod tube and a pushrod. See, that's the thing, is I'm not entirely sure that I can necessarily get all of the parts. And this is the first time I'm looking at this, Mitch and everybody. So, looks like we've got a carb here without a barrel. Oh my, this is not a good thing. So, I mean, this may not be fixable, because I don't know if OS 150 parts are still available or not. So it needs a whole throttle barrel with throttle arm. Got an exhaust, that looks complete. Let's open this box up here and see. Got a wrench, that's not going to do me any good. That's not going to do me any good. So I don't know if Mitch just purchased this as this and was hoping that it was all there. Okay, so we've got the push rod cover and another push rod there. That's a good thing. We got a Venturi. We got something that clearly doesn't even go with this engine. That's an OS part. That's some kind of bent OS header. Has nothing to do with this engine. Oh, there we go. Whew, that's good. Okay, so this is a later model one because it's got a plastic throttle arm. So we do have a throttle arm there. Hopefully we got the spring for the carbon there. We got the prop hub, another little wrench, and we've got rocker covers. Okay. Looks like we have one valve in here, which is the exhaust valve. Nothing else in the head there. We don't have. Okay. This. I don't think that has any seals. So the only thing that we need to assess here is the contents of this bag. Let's see if it's got all the items we are missing. So again here, this is another thing that has nothing to do with this engine. I don't know, it's a long screw that has nothing to do with that engine at all. There's a gasket. This is a A version, not the B version engine. So that works. It's got the drive collet. So that's good. Let's see here. Another piece that has nothing to do with this engine. Lots of stuff in here that has nothing to do with this engine, which is a little frightening. There's a valve spring. Might go with this engine. Valve spring and keepers. They look to be okay. A lot of stuff here that doesn't go with this, which is really unfortunate. That goes with it. This kind of goes with it. Not sure about that screw. That screw probably. I don't know about that one yet. Lots of weird things here. Broken gasket. Another part of the broken gasket, another screw. Here's a valve. That's a good thing. Here's another valve portion. rocker arm, that's good. These screws just don't have any place here at all. That looks like a head screw. Maybe those are, yeah, these should be the screws for the head. Okay, so that's good. What other screws? We don't have the screws for the, that's probably what this screw here, well, no, it's not. So we don't have the screws for the rocker covers. We've got both of our rocker pins here. So we got rocker arm assembly stuff here. And more things that don't match. So I'll put a complete inventory list here together because we need the clips, the retainers for the top here for the valves. So anyway, this has been a video showing a whole bunch of weird things that came with this Saito 150 engine that had nothing to do with it, and the parts that I've got to work with to make a complete engine, if at all possible. So that's what we're going to do. That's our video for today. This is my project, and thank you all for watching. Oh, let me slide this off to the side here. Let's look at payment first, because I'm kind of curious as to this. I haven't really looked at this. I'm curious about the payment for this engine, or this little project, being this Tower Hobbies 61 RC ABC engine. So this is really cool. I'm super excited about that. I don't know how I managed to forget about this. Maybe it's because I was thinking the video was going to be too long, but if you're really interested, you'll watch it anyway. So I've got all the instructions, the instruction manual that came with this engine. Obviously this appears to be a used engine that's got remote needle valve instructions. That's interesting. I wonder if it came without the remote needle valve initially. So in this bag we've got the long screw that secures the rear end of the muffler, which should be in here. Yep, there's that. Let's just take all of this out of here. There's really nothing else in this box. Let's get this off to the side. Let's take this out and look at this thing. Okay, so here we've got, man, these mufflers are huge for this thing. So here's the exhaust for this engine. Oh, it's still got the gasket on there. That's cool. So this looks, no. This is interesting. Oh, it'd probably be more interesting. I think there was a glow plug here. I can just kind of, it's an OSF plug, but I might be able to just thread this in here real quick and see what the compression is like on this engine. It doesn't look like it wouldn't have compression. Granted, this isn't going to be super tight. I don't have my wrench here. Yeah, well, I can't turn it over now. Yeah, I can't. It feels like it's got compression. Looks like it's pretty new. What I'll probably end up doing with this engine is I'll probably take the head off at some point, check the top of the piston, see if I can assess, in my estimation, how much runtime it's got. It feels like it's got pretty decent compression. One of the things that stands out with these nice Tower engines with the purple head is if you ever see one and the head is really faded, stay away from that, because that means it's actually got quite a bit of time on it and a lot of heat has been generated there, which obviously it's going to get hot in the course of running. But when I was saying that I had one of my favorite engines of all times was the Tower Pro 46 engine with the purple head, I ran the living hell out of that thing and the head never turned discolored at all. So that's why I say if you ever see one of these things and you're considering getting one, if the head is really discolored and it doesn't look brand new like this, stay away from it, because it's probably a super high time engine and it could mean that it may need a piston and sleeve, which you're not going to get. So anyway, this is really cool. And I got a nice mount for this thing too. So anyway, now we can conclude this video, and Thank you very much, Mitch, and I will get an inventory list going on this Saito 150 engine, see if the parts are available, and report back to you as soon as possible. Thank you all for watching.